It's your attention to the downside of things that causes you to keep active in your vibration contradiction. Now, before any of this makes sense to you, you have to remember that you are a vibrational being, and most physical humans don't remember that because you are so good at being vibrational beings, so good at interpreting vibration. You think you're flesh, blood, and bone. You think you're human. You think you're material in the sense that others can see you and touch you and recognize you and hear you. But you are a vibrational being, and everything that you know as your fully manifested life experience is an extension of that vibration. And if you will take the time to recognize the vibrational nature of you and reflect on the origin of the signal that is you, and then recognize the power of the vibration of your each and every thought, and then use your emotional guidance system just as you intended to understand the frequency of the thought that's active within you in any point in time, you can, in a very short order of time, work the bugs out of your vibration-resistant thought. When you focus on anything, you activate the vibration of that within you. But the thing that is throwing many of our physical friends, the thing that makes it, in the beginning at least, a little bit confusing, is that every subject is really two subjects. So often, when you think you're thinking about the relationship you want, because you're thinking about a partner, you're thinking about love, you're thinking about maybe homemaking, maybe family. Since the subject of relationships is really two subjects, what is wanted and lack of it, sometimes when you think you're thinking about the relationship you want, you're actually thinking about the opposite of it. You're thinking about the absence of the relationship you want. Sometimes when you would swear that you have been thinking about the money and the progress in your business that you want, you've not been doing that. You've been thinking about the absence of the money you want and the absence of the progress in your business. Often you don't even realize you're doing it if you're thinking about thinking. If you're only thinking about the thought you're thinking, then we can see how the subject of relationships is a broad subject. It goes all the way from having one to not having one, to having a good one to having a bad one. Just like having all the money you want, all the money you want, all the money you want, not having enough money. In other words, sounds like the same subject. But you have to realize that the way you feel while you're thinking the thought is the indicator about whether you are in alignment with what you want or not. There's another thing that often throws our physical friends, and that is often when you are considering something that you want, you're considering it or attempting to through the lens of others who have it or want it. And we want you to understand that the only thing that you need to understand is your own relationship between how much you want it and what you're thinking about it right now in this moment. So here's the easiest way to explain this to you from a basis of universal laws. And as you understand this, then everything that you're living or everything that you're watching anyone else live will begin to make sense to you. So here's the best way of explaining this. You are more than you see here in these physical bodies. You are source energy. And before you came into these physical bodies, you were source energy. And even though you are here, focused in these physical bodies, the larger part of you is still source energy. So while you are here, it is clear to everyone who sees you. It is clear to you because you recognize the personality that you know as you. There is a larger part of you who is focused in the non-physical. Now, many of you say, well, that's not hard to accept. I've heard that before. I've heard about my soul, and I believe that I am an eternal being, and so I understand that one day I will return to that soul perspective again. But that's only a very small part of the story. While you are here in this physical body, that larger non-physical part of you still exists. Now, many of you have been calling that part of you God, but we want you to understand that there is a vibrational attitude of you that exists in the non-physical while you are here focused in this physical body, who is the holder of all that you have become. Certainly the holder of all that you were before you were born into this physical body, but the holder now of everything that you have expanded to since being here. In other words, when someone was rude to you, you wanted a nicer world. And when you ask, your inner being, the source energy part of you, embraced that idea and held the idea of it purely for the creation of it. When you don't have enough wellness in your body, and so you ask for more wellness, that non-physical part of you takes that idea and holds steady the vibrational attitude of that. In other words, everything that you know that is now physically focused was at one time, prior to the manifestation, vibration. And vibration is the beginning of everything that you know that is manifested. So it is important to realize that when you don't have enough of something and you ask for more of it, you send forth, we're not kidding you even a little bit, a vibrational rocket that the source energy part of you holds and becomes. That's why we can tell you unequivocally that when you ask, it is given every single time. When you ask, it is not just given. When you ask from your physical format and you send forth a rocket of desire, the non-physical part of you embraces that desire and becomes it. And because everything is vibrational before it is manifested, you have to understand that that vibrational beingness is done. In other words, the precursor to the manifestation is already in place. So now what happens is that law of attraction responds to this powerful vibrating force that is really who you are. You sometimes think that when you ask for more money, you are the creator of more money. But it is much bigger than that. You are the creator of you, a more prosperous you. When you ask for a relationship, you might think that you are the creator of a relationship. But what you are the creator of is you within the relationship that you are desiring. In other words, we cannot find a stronger way of saying this, and so we're just going to leave it to you to hear it. We'll say it many, many, many times. You are the creator of your reality, which means you are the creator of you. You are the creator of you and your experience and your relationships and your body and your prosperity and your clarity. You are the creator of your relationship with everything that exists. You are the creator of your reality. And we so, in these hours that we are together today, want to draw your attention to this vortex of creation. Because every time you know what you don't want and you ask with greater clarity about what you do want, you add to this beingness that the source within you holds steady to. And law of attraction gathers, and these are the most important words you will ever hear, all cooperative components. So you have a vortex of creation, an assembly of all things wanted, circumstances and events, other people, attitude, information, everything that is necessary to satisfy the questions you're asking, the problems you're looking for solutions for, the creations you're creating. Everything is being assembled for you. In fact, vibrationally speaking, it is done. If we can get you to accept the reality of this vibrational reality, and if we can attract your attention from the reality that you are counting as reality. In other words, you often don't want to count it until it's manifested. You don't want to count your money until it's in your bank. You don't want to count your lover till in your bed. You don't want to count your prosperity or well-being until it is manifested where all can see it. And we want you to learn to see through the eyes of Source. We want you to come into, vibrationally speaking, your vortex of creation so that you can know your prosperity in the moment that it is a vibrational reality. And once we are able to, you might say, distract you from the reality that has so much of your attention and call you into the vibrational reality that is the precursor of your next reality, you're going to break loose into a whole new creating pattern. Things that have been log jammed for a long time are going to loosen up for you. When you want something, let's say more money, and you are so aware of how much money you have and so aware of what your debt to income ratio is, and so aware of what's going on in the economy, or so aware of the reality of what is right now, this red hot minute. Even though you've asked for far more, and far more is queued up for you, and could come to you now, because it's done. All you have to do is find the vibrational equivalency to it, and it must pour into your experience in a way that you and others can see it. But you've got to be a vibrational match to it, not the absence of it. And the tricky thing about being the realist that you've been objectively trained to be is that when you truthfully tell it like it is right now, and train your vibration into that thought, which makes it that belief, which makes it that expectation, which makes it that point of attraction, you hold yourself away from your fortune that is waiting for you only because of a little sloppy focusing. Or maybe because you don't understand the laws of the universe. Most people offer most of their vibration in response to what they are observing. So then, because observing good things makes you feel good and observing bad things makes you feel bad, then you set out as individuals and as cultures, certainly as governments, you set out to try to control the circumstances, because you've already proven to yourself that attention to that good feeling thing makes me feel good, and attention to that bad feeling thing makes me feel bad. So I guess we should just all, you say, control the circumstances so that we can feel good about more things. And then you battle endlessly about the way those conditions should be. Don't you? This is my land. This is my land. No, this was my idea. No, this was my idea. And as you scramble around battling with one another without even meaning to, you hold yourselves outside of your vortex of creation, and you disallow by your attention to what is everything that you've put there, everything that you own, everything that you deserve, everything that you're worthy of, everything that's queued up for you, everything that has been assembled. All the cooperative components to everything that you've been asking for have already been assembled. You're the only missing component. So the question that we really want to get to the heart of as we are chewing together today is, are you a cooperative or an uncooperative component? And here's an easy way to know it. If you're frisky, you're cooperative. If you're ornery, you're uncooperative. If you're happy, you're cooperative. If you're unhappy, you're uncooperative. If you're joyful, you're cooperative. If you're pessimistic, you're not cooperative. If you're ornery, you're not cooperative. If you're overwhelmed, you're not very cooperative. If you're fearful, you are so uncooperative. And many of you would say, but I have reason for my fear. And we say, doesn't matter. You're uncooperative to your own cause. But I have reason to feel this way. I've been watching CNN and I know what's going on. You want me to be oblivious? And we say to that, we want you to be oblivious to the things that make you feel ornery, that make you feel fearful, that make you feel unhappy, that make you feel pensive, that make you feel angry. We want you to be oblivious to them while you are aware of things that make you feel better. But we've never known anyone who could just withdraw your attention from something, because, first of all, your attention to it is the reason it's close by, and the reason it's close by is the reason you're giving it your attention. Sort of a cycle of attraction. Oh, so it turns out there is this vortex of creation that is all that you are. And then there is this vortex of creation that you've got going on relative to a lot of different subjects. And have you noticed that cooperative components are being assembled around whatever attitude you have about anything? Do you know that you could pick some subject that you're really bothered by?